So today we went over some back takes. I'll talk about those later. Um, in the rolls, I went against this one stripe. He was a lot bigger than me. I was in control most of the time, but I couldn't really finish that well, at all. What did I try? I tried to get him to go to crucifix, but he just stayed in S mount. And then I was messing around to get to, he was in S mount. I got him to S mount. I forgot how. I think I got to side control and then S mount. And then I was trying to bait him into turtling so that I could get to chin strap and then get into crucifix, but he wasn't doing that, so he would just sat in S mount. So I tried going for an arm bar, but he wouldn't. I don't know, his arms were huge, so I couldn't maneuver them that well. But then he kind of just rolled and went into side control. I went into side control, and then I forgot from there. One time I tried to go for a baseball bat. I think that's when the round ended. But another time, he was side control, I went to mount. And then mount, I went for a body triangle. But I couldn't get his arm high enough. And then he tried to buck me a couple times. I just rode it out. And then I went for an Ezekiel. And then he bucked me that time, wound up in close guard on the bottom. Then I tried to do a flower sweep, which didn't work. He wouldn't come forward enough. So then I was thinking about doing a knee scissor sweep, but I kind of forgot how to do that. So then, I don't remember all the rest of it, but I was pretty happy with it. I was in control most of the time. When he was on top, I felt pretty safe. So my defense is good against even larger white belts. He's also a one stripe white belt, so whatever. But yeah, my defense is pretty good against larger people that don't know what they're doing, I guess. Went against Jeremy, and he was just moving all over the place again. He got me to turtle, and then he just went around in circles, so I was trying to sit out, but then he would just move, but he wasn't really attacking me, so if he just runs around, then I don't think there's anything I can do, and there's nothing he can do. So once he stops to do something, then I'll be able to do something. Went against Nate. Nate was just crushing me. His weight is so heavy that he just moves so slowly and so heavy. It's a frame will not hold, but if I move, he fills the space, so he just fills the space. So if I try to shrimp, I create space in order to allow myself to move out, but then before I move out, he just fills it. So I did get waiter swept a few times. I gotta figure out how not to get waiter swept. It's kind of annoying. I got to a knee cut a couple of times, but I finished it at least one time. So that was pretty good. It's a pretty good time. The only time I was really dominated was with Nate and with Renee. Renee's I don't know, he was riding me. he got me to turtle like 2 or 3 times, and then he would just like kneel on my hips and post with his hands, and then I couldn't do anything. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know what to do in that situation. I tried to sit out. Yeah. So today we did back take. Well, not back takes. We did back control, and well, today we did hand fighting from the back and finishing a cross collar. So kind of 2 techniques we worked on. One was, well, I guess a few. One concept is when you have your back taken, you're defending, you want to use both hands to defend against the choking hand. So what I've been doing is I've been pulling with both hands at that way, but you want to pull with one hand and you want to push with the other. So you want to pull with the near hand and push with the far hand, the opposite hand. And then let's see what else.
Yeah, he made me like, you know.
So that was the defensive concept. Offensively, your choking hand, you always want to be putting pressure against the throat or the chest. So you always want to be pulling that hand into the body. You want to get your elbow in front of the body. If your elbow is behind the body, it's harder, you have less leverage. Okay, so that's the main points. You want your bottom hand, your control hand is, your choking hand is on top of your control hand. Wait. Yes, I think, yes, your choking hand is on top of your control hand. So if he's pulling on your choking hand, then what you want to do is you want to swing your hands under, and you want to control both. You want to do a 2-on-1 on the choking hand, his hand that's on the choking hand side. So if your right hand is the choking hand, you want to use both your hands to control his right hand. This is when you're in the back. So you can do that because he's trying to pull. He's trying to pull with that hand. He has to try to pull on it because he's trying to prevent a choke. So that hand is exposed, that wrist is exposed, and you can get 2 C-grips on it. So once you've isolated that hand, he'll probably try to break that with his other hand, and as soon as he does that, you can grab it with the control hand, or is it the choking hand? I forgot which, but anyway, it's not that important. If you grab it, it's sort of transient anyway. But so once you have control of the hand I was describing first, then you reach across with your choking hand, and then you grab the opposite lapel with you reach across, you get your cross collar grips, and then you want to fall to the shoulder where your choking hand is shoulder. So your choking hand should be below you. At this point, you want your elbow on your side. So you want your elbow to be in back of him now. And then you can apply the choke. Then if he pulls you so that your choking hand's on top, the choke is harder to put on because if you extend your hands, then he can bring his head outside the loop. So I guess this is the case for either side that you fall on. You want to use your top hook to push down on the hip and your bottom hook to come up. because if he falls down on his side, then it makes it easier for him to hip out and get his hips on top of the hook. So you got to push the hip down with your top hook and then really extend the bottom hook, not between the legs, but along the hip line. And then you can apply the choke. So let's say he falls down on the non-choking hand side, then you do that foot thing that I was talking about to reset the hooks, and then you have the grips. You should have the grips before you fall. That's the first thing you should do, is get the collar grips. So you get the collar grips, you fall, you reset the hooks, you're in control. You bring the elbow behind the neck, and then instead of like extending your arms and hipping out, you just bring your shoulder behind the neck and extend it forward. So it's sort of like applying a rear naked choke with your shoulder pushing forward and your elbow pushing backwards. Yeah. So those were the concepts today.